organization. We really appreciate all that you've done. In the audience tonight, we have some graduates of Grandma's Place, we have some volunteers, and we have some lovely donors that we really appreciate. We asked all of you to bring a guest with you to join in the celebration. So I do want to talk a little bit about the charity, what the charity does, and how it helps people. And let me put it in this context for you. Have you ever seen late night TV reruns of Law and Order where the police break down the door and there's a drug addict or an abuser and their children in the home, and the cops say, "We're turning them over to the custody of the state"? Think about that for a second. Do they go to the governor's house? How does the state take care of children? Really, they don't. They have a system set up. We know it as foster care. But foster care is a government bureaucracy. They can't handle the immediacy of those middle of the night calls saying there's a domestic disturbance and they know there are children in the house and the kids have to be taken care of. They have to go somewhere. And that's where organizations like Grandma's Place comes in. In Florida, an average of 5 children die every day at the hands of abusers, just in the state of Florida. Every year, more than 50,000 children are victims of abuse and neglect, again, just in the state of Florida. More locally, in 2014, 2,440 children were abused and neglected right here in Palm Beach County, in West Palm and Boca, in our neighborhoods. Who knew? Every day, 7 children in South Florida are removed from their homes due to this abuse and neglect. That's where Grandma's Place comes in. It's an emergency shelter for children, both boys and girls, up to the age of 12. And one thing that distinguishes our organization is we encourage siblings to stay together. The state doesn't understand that concept. They tend to break them up. Or they have just a home for girls, or just a home for boys. This is a much more inclusive family setting. Now you'll see the children are hiding behind masks. That's a symptom of the environment they're coming from. Those abusive parents are seeking to get their children back, and they don't care about the law, they just want their kid back. So Grandma's Place does go to great lengths to protect the children. You don't see their faces. This is what it looks like in the kitchen. It's like, well, Grandma's house. There's a capacity for up to 16 children at any one time, from babies through age 12, some siblings, some never met, and you'd be surprised because it's a potpourri of boys and girls and all different races and all different ages, and they coexist in this house on a temporary basis. Some just for a couple months, a couple nights rather, some for a couple of months, but it's transitional housing until a place can be found in the foster care system. Support from Grandma's Place does come in part from government funding, but as we all know, government funding is never sufficient. It does come some from corporate giving. Some of the big companies in the area donate some money to Grandma's Place to help them get by, and it comes from personal donations from people like you, which we very much appreciate. Grandma's Place this year, part of what we're celebrating on our 10th anniversary, we've helped over 100 children this past year. Very sad statistic in that there were 100 kids that were abused or neglected that needed help, but a very happy statistic in that we were able to help 100 children. Oops, went through that one too fast. How do we help? For those of you that don't know, how do you take care of your children? You provide them with meals, clothing, medical care, school supplies, after-school activities, life skills, all that wrapped around a staff that provides 24-hour-a-day awake care. So if a kid wakes up having a terror dream in the middle of the night, or a kid arrives on the doorstep in the middle of the night, there's staff and they are already awake. This is not cheap. We have found ways to make it efficient. For instance, school supplies. We've figured out how to buy backpacks, fill them with all necessary school supplies for less than $50. We're very efficient in how we use the resources that we get. But we always want and wish we could do more. One of the things we'd like to do for the older children, say the 12-year-olds for instance, is start teaching them about money, giving them an allowance, letting them go to the store and pick some things out for themselves. They haven't had that experience. And we'd love to be able to do that to make their lives be as close to normal as possible. Personal example, my wife's company, ADT, the security company, took a group of these kids to a local shopping mall, to a store called Build-A-Bear Workshop. The kids thought they were in Disney World. It was a corporate donation. The store knew how to deal with a group of a dozen kids, taught them how to assemble the bears and choose the outfits they wanted, and the kids got to take home a stuffed animal and an outfit at no cost to the kids or to grandma's place. And to these children, it was a life-changing experience, because the one thing they really want is love. So all your volunteers out there that just come and help out a little bit, show the kids a little attention and affection, that's all these children want. Second opportunity that I had was to go on a trip with these kids to Lion Country Safari, where they were loaded up into the buses that the Safari Land provides. And sure, they knew what a lion and various animals were from school, but most of them had never seen them that close. And they got to feed lettuce to giraffes. And after that, they got to go to the water park and splash around and play. It imbibed a lifetime of memories in that group of children. So it isn't just a prison cell or a house where they're stuck in all day. They learn about life. They learn about life experiences. And we work with our corporate partners to take them on field trips like that in order to help them do a better job at real life than perhaps they would have done with their families in an abusive environment or a drug-filled environment, breaking that cycle. Because 2/3 of kids that come from drug abuse houses end up on drugs today. Anything we can do to minimize that is a wonderful thing, even if it's one child. To wrap up, I'm going to keep it really simple. If you see something, say something. We're here to help the children. Mr. Toastmaster.